So what are the signs then if you're a kid and you've thought one thing about your parents, but all of a sudden you're starting to see like, oh, maybe they might have one parent who's narcissistic. What would you say are the main signs if a parent for a kid would be narcissistic?
I don't think, let's say a child is anyone under 13, I don't even think kids start understanding that their parents are messed up until they're around middle school or high school. Selfishness, real inattentiveness,
dismissiveness,
devaluation of their emotions, shaming them, humiliating them, expecting them to be like them, devaluing them if they don't excel at the things they want. What do you mean you don't want to go to Harvard? Or like, ugh, you want to go to that college? Like any kind of contemptuous dismissiveness of their children. That's all narcissistic parent behavior.
Wow.
Rage. Rage is a big one, and I think that's probably the one my clients have brought. Anger, but rage, like that, walking on eggshells. If anyone says to me, I felt like I was always walking on eggshells around my parent, probably dealing with an antagonistic, like a narcissistic parent.
Yeah, I think I was telling you before, and I felt that for a part of my life, and then things started to shift. But I've definitely walked on eggshells for many relationships in the past, which makes me be like, why did I jump into different relationships where I felt that way, which maybe I hadn't learned to heal the past yet, or I hadn't learned to.
But you didn't jump into a relationship.
I didn't feel that in the beginning.
You didn't feel it at the beginning.
But it was like 6 to 12 months later when I was
justified.
Then I justified. Oh, let's just get back to where it was.
One of the I would say your greatest vulnerability, quite frankly, to narcissistic relationships is your history as an athlete. Okay. Athletes are actually at not only great risk of being narcissistic, but for falling for narcissists.
Why is that?
And a lot of that is because for any gifted athlete, all you needed to do was work harder. You just had to go to the gym or had to run or do whatever it was you needed to do. It just meant more reps.
Yes.
There was always a way to make it better. You're gonna do the Sunday workout. You're gonna go to the gym at 4 in the morning, right?
Yeah,
and so the more, and you had this belief, you got better and you were in control. So the belief is you could extend that to anyone. I just gotta talk to them harder. I'm gonna be more clear. I'm gonna
more
make
loving,
this work.
more present,
I'm gonna be more loving.
Giving.
Everything becomes a workout.
Oh my gosh, this is what I did in the last 10 years. In every relationship for the last 10 years. And I remember just being like, it never felt enough. And it was always draining to give. It was never enough what I gave. There was always something wrong with me. There was always something to pick at.
Yep.
And they never wanted to go to therapy with me. It was funny because I was like, what meant, I don't want to generalize, but I was like, I'm a guy who wants to go to therapy and get feedback from I'm not perfect. Give me feedback. Tell me how to improve, because I'm an athlete, right? I'm like, I want to improve. And they never wanted to. I was just like, I think women would kill for this, for a guy who wanted to go to therapy with them.
Not a narcissistic woman.
Oh my gosh.
But that idea of surrender is kind of actually the opposite of what an athlete is conditioned to become, right? And that's really the core of the narcissistic relationship. It's a sense of surrender. I'm not engaging with this. I'm not doing this. It doesn't work. And then you just fold it and step away.
No, it was more like, I want to make this work.
Exactly.
What can I do to make it better? How can I improve? Tell me what I can do. I'm here. I'll support. I'll do this. And then it drains your energy.
Athletes, entrepreneurs, or anyone who's a doer and it's worked for them, they're screwed.
It wasn't until I really started lifting the veil, as my therapist talks about, is like I started to really realize okay, I don't need to keep working. You talked about this in one of your recent videos, like the marriage and the relationships should be hard work is kind of the narrative. And when I realized it shouldn't feel like, it should feel like commitment and there's attention and presence, but it shouldn't feel like this draining hard work.
No.
Otherwise I'd rather be single if that's the way it is. It's
exactly. And I think that, and I have to tell you, a lot of people have had a lot of harm done to them in therapy where therapists say to them,
it's hard work.
Relationships are hard work. No, it's not. I mean, yeah, maybe having to say no, like having to sit through a football game you don't want to watch. I don't know that that's hard work, because they sat and watch your French film with you.
It's just an uncomfortable moment.
I'm just going to read my book while you watch your football game. We're good.
Yeah, it's fine. I can show up for a few hours.
That's not hard work.
Yeah.
Hard, and the other person's kind, right? Again, every healthy relationship has the same core ingredients: kindness, compassion, patience, mutuality of regard, reciprocity, respect. Yeah. Every single one. And as long as you got that
Flexibility.
flexibility, no narcissistic relationship has even one of those ingredients. So that's why they don't work. They don't work. So yeah, they're always going to be hard work because you have not one of the essential ingredients. Like you're trying to bake a cake without flour, eggs, or sugar. Good luck with that.
Right. Oh my gosh. This is just bringing me back to so many realizations. How do you know when you're entering a new relationship if the person is not a narcissist? Like maybe you've been in a narcissistic relationship or your parent was or whatever it is, and you have some PTS from those experiences. And you feel like, well, I'm supposed to be walking on eggshells, but I don't need to. It's kind of healthy.
Yeah.
Like, is the shoe going to drop? Like, when you know the person isn't a narcissist, how long does that take to find out?
About the same amount of time it takes to discover that they are, in the sense that the difference is narcissists actually, there's red flags, right?
Okay.
I call these green flags. Green flags mean go. And green flags are things like watch how the person behaves under conditions of stress. So let's say that you're running late to the airport. Great, that's a great example of a stress, right? How are they acting? And are they, they're saying, oh, I'm a little worried about this, but we're gonna make it work. And listen, what's the worst that's gonna happen? We'll get rebooked. And they're calm and like, listen, I'm just glad to be here with you. Like, we'll figure it out.
To make the most of the moment.
Yeah, we'll go to an airport hotel if we have to.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna be fine. A narcissist, when they're running late to the airport, oh no.
What happens?
So, and it's just, I'm not going to curse, right?
Exhausting.
But it's chaos, stress, accusations. This is your fault. Entitlement. Let me speak to the manager. Get me on that plane. Get that plane back to the gate.
Oh my
like
gosh.
that kind. That's the narcissist, right? Whereas with with somebody, you watch them, and that doesn't have to be something as dramatic as the airport. It could be even something like, "Hey, I noticed you've been working late. How about I make some dinner?" So it's the noticing, it's the presence, it's the mindfulness, it's the willingness to be flexible and make compromise when it's needed, to meet you halfway, to listen to you, and more than anything is to also see the growth potential in you. So not to be threatened by your own success. So if you go up to this person and you're like, hey, you know what, I got this totally cool new opportunity. And the healthy person says, that is amazing. You have worked your whole life. I saw this in you. What can we do to make this work for you? Whereas everybody else, and not just narcissists, but insecure people will say, oh, I guess that's just going to mean more time away and you're going to be traveling a lot. There's going to be a lot of women on the road. And you're like, oh my gosh, they just got the job of their dreams.
Oh my gosh.
And that's
bringing back so many memories to me.
That's the key. And I'm a big believer that, there's actually something I'm going a little off topic, but you're an off topic guy. You can handle
I love it.
There's something called the Michelangelo phenomenon. And it's a big relationship theory.
Is there a graph for this?
No,
I was gonna say I want to use the. I want to use the chart.
drawing the Sistine
At some
Chapel.
point, I want to use this.
So the Michelangelo phenomenon is this idea that the one person in the relationship sees the absolute potential in the other in such a way that they say, "What do we need to do to get you to your dream? Like, do we need to? Should we take a second on the house? Should we cut back? Should we move closer in? Like, because I see, or it could be as simple as they eat a cake that their partner made and said, okay, this is the best cake I've ever had. Have you ever thought of making this into a business? Or a partner of yours might have said, you ask the most amazing questions. You need a podcast. Yeah. Like, it's seeing that something bigger in the person.
That's a good thing.
That's the Michelangelo phenomenon. That's everything.
That's a good thing.
It's the best thing. And very few relationships get that, because what you've got to do is that person who's saying, go be your best you, is secure enough to say, I'm not going to lose you.
Right.
Like, I see all the good in you.
Yeah.
And
I want the best for you.
And I want the best for you, and I believe in you, and I'm here with you. And that might even mean the person encouraging you might have to make sacrifice. Things like, I know that you're going to have to go take this course for 6 months and I may not see you, and that's okay because this is our future together. That's the Michelangelo phenomenon.
What's the opposite?
Narcissistic relationship.
Because I think I'm just having so many realizations here, but in the previous, I would say 10 years of my relationships, I think I was just really good at choosing specific people, because I was always like, I always saw the masterpiece. And I said, you're a masterpiece and I can see what's possible for you with all these skills and gifts. But there was like some insecurities with some of them, not all of them. And they never were able to see it within themselves. They weren't able to see it. And then I remember when I would accomplish something big in some of these relationships, not all of them, it was almost like they would get depressed or sad and say, oh, and then make it about what they're lacking, what they don't have, and wanting to put the intention back on them. I remember I got an email for a year. I was training to become, to make the USA national team. It was a dream of mine, to go to the Olympics and make the USA national team for a sport called team handball, which is a big sport in Europe, not that big in USA. I remember getting an email and literally almost in tears that I was selected for the USA team. And it was just like a dream for a couple of years of a journey. This was 10 years ago. And I remember I showed to my girlfriend at the time, I go, I just got called up on the national team. And I'm like getting kind of emotional, just chills now back in that moment. And she didn't congratulate me. She just kind of went back into, God, I wish I was doing what I wanted to do. And I wish there was this. And I was just like, what?
Bingo, right there.
Okay, well, yeah, let me come back and help you. I kind of put my attention back on like, you know, you're gonna get these things going and, you know, I'm here for you. But it's like this diminishing. I had this happen at one of my big events one time. I host this annual event called the Summit of Greatness. And a relationship at the time made it all about them at the event. That I wasn't there for them because the attention was on me and people were coming up to me and I was like, this is something I've been working all year to host. And then I said, you know what, let me pause on my event for 2 hours to give the attention to this person. And I was always trying to see the masterpiece. But it's like, I don't know. I'm like, you're having so many realizations for me.
Right, yeah. I mean, but that's the idea that ego, and it's interesting, not everyone who's not capable of this sort of Michelangelo phenomenon in a relationship is a narcissist by any stretch.
Right.
They may just have more of the low-grade insecurity that so many people are plagued by, right?
Gotcha.
So
Just
all insecurity doesn't mean narcissism, right? Insecurity paired with all this entitlement and lack of empathy and all of that is the problem. And so it's so unfortunate because it is there then you, again, you're talking about self-actualization for the individual. I think there can even be actualization in relationships where two people, like, they really see the greatness in each other. It can't just be you the only one seeing the masterpiece. They have to see the masterpiece in you.
What? Because it's just draining.
Yeah.
If it's just one person, right?
It's also a mirror that's not reflecting back at you.
Yeah. Man, this is crazy. So what I'm hearing you say, the ultimate experiment in a relationship is when both parties are seeing the masterpiece in each other and are supportive of each other. And when one is succeeding, the person I'm with right now, she's incredible. She's just a walking success. Everything she does is just successful. I'm so happy for her.
Right.
I want her to succeed. I'm like, this is amazing. Let's celebrate you.
And she's happy for you.
She's happy for me.
There you go. It has to be a two-way street.
She's like, you're crazy. She, you know, she admires the work I'm doing. She admires the mission we're on to help people. And she's like, what can I do to support you? It feels interesting. I mean, it feels beautiful.
It is beautiful. I mean, and that's the key though, because that ability to sort of again, to have that co-located growth, that Michelangelo, if you will. You're in essence, you're realizing the statue from the raw piece of marble every day, and you're both sculpting that for the other.
It's beautiful.
You know, but that's again, no narcissistic relationship is like that. And with a narcissistic relationship, it's really the them show. Like everyone is just sort of in the audience, watching them and celebrating them. They can be the only great one in a relationship.
Really?
Yeah.
So, is it possible that two narcissists would be in a relationship together?
I actually love when that happens, so it kind of gets them out of the water
miserable?
supply for everybody else. I'm like, go.
Because they're both miserable with each other. They're like perfect for each other.
Here's what it is. They're very volatile relationships. They're very superficial relationships. A lot of people who are power couples, that's sometimes what you're seeing, like this kind of, they're only about the aspiration. They're not about the empathy. But in any relationship of two narcissists, as soon as somebody doesn't stay in their lane. So let's say one classical trope of two narcissists in a relationship. One partner, very wealthy, very powerful, very successful. The other one, very beautiful, looks good, goes places with this one, looks good with them. It all looks good together,
Complement each other.
Compliment's a strong word. The first time this one, though, might look someplace else because this one's a narcissist person, this person, the powerful one, it's narcissistic may notice someone else, this person's gonna blow up because they're doing their beautiful thing full time. And they're like, how can someone be
And if
more
you're not
beautiful
looking
than
at me obsessive, then you're not giving me all the attention.
Lots of jealousy, lots of volatility, lots of me, lots of egocentricity, lots of, on social media, it's like, I'm so blessed, hashtag love my person, hashtag best relationship ever. I mean, I laugh when I see that because I'm like, ooh, yeah, there we go. You know, another super narcissistic relationship where it's all about advertising the relationship, but it's very superficial, very volatile, no empathy. There's no depth to the intimacy. It's almost transactional. That's what happens when two narcissists get together. I honestly would be fine with all the narcissists pairing up like Noah's Ark, as long as none of them have kids. Because that's a real number on the kids.
You're messed.
Yeah.
You're traumatized.
It's a really empty way to grow up. Those kids that grow up they either become incredibly anxious as adults or they become narcissistic as adults. It's not a good look.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this and you want more inspirational content, make sure to click the subscribe button below and click right here to watch what's coming next.